Good morning, everyone. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes right now. Just wanted people to give enough people time to join. So it's 11 o'clock right now. We will get started by about 11:02. So we wanted to thank everybody for joining, obviously, and I will be back with you guys in about 2 minutes. Thanks. Hi, folks. Thanks for joining the Intermedia Unite Extend webinar. We're just going to wait another minute. We're waiting for folks to join in. We've got several folks that are still coming in. We will get started in about 1 minute now. Yeah, again, thank you very much for joining us today. Okay, folks. Well, my name is Reza Kamran. I am the Senior Director of Product Marketing here at Intermedia. And today we are here to introduce to our partners the Intermedia Unite Extend platform. I am super, super excited about this platform and introducing this to our partners right now. This is an opportunity for you guys, to understand specifically what the Extend platform is, and really, really helps put Intermedia on and our partners on a much broader plateau to be able to effectively compete in the marketplace through a series of cutting edge integrations that we now offer to partners, which can then be extended to our customers. So before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping items that I wanted everybody to be aware of. In your any meeting webinar, you have 3 icons that are available. So you'll see a smiley face there that tells us how you're feeling during the webinar, happy, sad faces, laughter. So for those that are on the call, if you could click that, make sure it's working. And I see a lot of thumbs going up, which is fantastic. A couple of thank yous, and oh, somebody's really happy there. That's awesome. Well, listen, appreciate it. And so it's obviously working. And the second thing is we have an option there to send questions during the session. So right now, this is in listen only mode. We will be the Q&A portion of this. If you click on that icon with a question mark, you can enter your questions, and then at the end we'll have a Q&A session. The third option is to switch your audio option. So in the event that, and less relevant for those because it's a listen only mode, but like I said, if you cannot hear properly through your computer, you can obviously dial in via phone number, which would go standard through your regular phone system or your mobile. So we'll get started. And these are the areas that we're going to cover off today. So first is really talking about business application trends, what's happening from an industry perspective, how things are changing, and giving you guys a much broader understanding of what to expect from a communications perspective. The other area that we're going to be talking about beyond this is then introducing, the Extend platform, what it does. We'll go through some demos, both on the Unite integration side and the contact center integration side, and then wrap up with some, how to get started, marketing assets, and then Q&A. So let's start with some business application trends. And these trends that we have here really cover off a variety of areas. And the first that I wanted to talk about is really what's happening from an industry perspective. What are we seeing from a marketplace perspective? And really there's 3 areas that we've seen in terms of items that have changed and continue to evolve. One is this whole model of business applications taking over consumer applications. So when we talk about business applications, it's not just about a physical application itself. It's also the endpoint devices that are being used. So, the marketplace, for example, which was once dominated, which really started in the mobility space with consumer-based applications, widgets and things that we would see on our iPhones, that then started to extend into baseline business applications through mobility, that then started to then offer this through SaaS-based applications. We're seeing a lot more investments, obviously, in the market today in business applications that are readily available, not just for a desktop environment, but really any endpoint device. The difference is that these business applications are a little bit more sophisticated. So what I mean by sophistication is it's optimized for different user experiences. So an application that is not necessarily used in a desktop environment, should that be working the same in a mobility environment? Absolutely not. I mean, there are just unique cases that only apply from a mobility perspective. The general trend is, though, there's a lot more investments that are happening. There's a lot more money that is being spent in building applications accordingly, and therefore there's much more variety of services that exist right now than ever before. The need for speed really talks about this from, a lot more from the communications perspective, is that it's no longer about static applications. Really, what users are looking for is, I not only want the right application at the right time, but I want the right information provided to me at that right time, at the right place, in the right environment. And so the need for real-time data is a continuous evolving exercise that is happening today, but a value proposition that really starts to really is moving to the next level. And we'll talk about that as it relates to the communication lifecycle. The other key trend is, look, applications, SaaS-based applications, they're moving up market today. We know this today, right? So, initially having this start as a small business play is where it all began, but more and more enterprises are becoming more comfortable living outside of the firewall. So the on-prem world is obviously starting to change. The adoption of cloud applications is also starting to change. Now, a lot of this from an enterprise perspective may still be happening from a point solution perspective, but again, we're starting to see these trends and the impacts of these trends. And so what that really means is, I think by the end of this year, they're expecting, which is, I guess, in a few days, there's nearly 19 billion devices across the world that will be impacted, by some sort of application today, or continuously business-based application that we're talking about today. And that of those applications that are being impacted, which combines a few areas. So the trends that we're seeing in terms of areas of changes that are happening from an application perspective are falling into a multitude of categories. So we're seeing these, related to ERP categories, to CRM categories that are essentially being used, to HRM, which is human resource management, to supply chain management. Those are kind of the main buckets of services that are happening. But it's a continuously growing market, is what I wanted to leave you at. Right now, I think they're expecting by the end of 2020, roughly about SaaS applications will make up nearly $55 billion globally right now in terms of investment. So we know it's a big market right now, and we know it's a market that communications needs to tie into. Roughly about 22% CAGR growth between 2018 and 2023. So it's an area that's growing and an area that we need support. The bottom side here talks about communication lifestyle. And look, what I wanted to showcase here is the evolution, right? We've seen the world of communications start from the on-prem world, and the market has now evolved into this hosted environment right now. And hosted is what we've seen today, with from a UCaaS perspective or a contact center as a service perspective, that as a standalone offering. But like I said, as we continue to evolve, as the industry continues to commoditize and consolidate right now, inherently organizations are starting to see value in communication, have always seen value in communication, but not necessarily just as a standalone offering. And that's where we get into the embedded world. So the embedded world says, look, I use these applications or these services, or I have this business process that exists, and I need to embed communication capabilities into that, because that really represents the forefront of what I'm looking for. And use the application and have communications become, quote unquote, the defense of the team, where it's no longer on the forefront. It is an embedded solution that works and enhances the overall experience. Beyond the embedded world, which is also starting to come, is the automated world, this is where we're starting to incorporate, artificial intelligence, big data services are coming into there as an opportunity right now. But everybody seems to be talking the AI game. But the reality of the situation, AI itself is just it's a big buzzword. The value proposition of AI really comes in from an application perspective, not necessarily just AI as a service, right? So how is that creating, for example, from a communications perspective, more intelligent data? More intelligent engagements with customers or employees right now. And that could be a phenomenon that exists by itself, or it could be a phenomenon that exists within an embedded solution of some sort alongside with communication. So just sort of a high level view of where the industry is going. Now, this is another interesting tidbit that we pulled out related to the CRM integrations, and this was a source from the CSO Insight that looked at businesses today and how they're evaluating the use of CRM over the course of their business activities. Whether it be from generally from a forecasting perspective, baseline communications, reducing administration burden on sales, ordering process, improve best practices, improve supports for their channels. Now, if you notice in the bottom three here, short sales cycles, revenue, increase in revenue, and increase in win-loss ratio have always been challenges right now for standalone CRM applications. And in fact, right now, there is a view that these are the biggest areas of opportunities from a revenue perspective right now that are not satisfied by pure standalone CRM applications. So what does that really mean? That means that in order to leverage CRM effectively, I need more than just the applications themselves. And so this plays in a couple of areas, right? So communications typically represents, and not the only capability, but certainly a strong capability in order to enhance both the employee experience and the customer experience by leveraging an application and the abilities to be able to do things like pull up records of customers, or communicate effectively with those customers, or have quicker response time with those customers, or be able to engage people within the organization more effectively using the application. All those areas play a critical role in order to boost these particular areas and showcase better revenue recognition for a customer and more effective customer journeys for an organization as a whole. So, this is just something that we're seeing right now from a perspective of justifying the need for communication integrations as part of a CRM type of solution, which, by the way, CRM still represents the biggest form across all the integrations today. There's still a lot more integrations that are being viewed in customer relationship management than any other category today: ERP, human resource management, et cetera, et cetera. So what is the Extend platform? So the Intermedia Extend platform essentially connects the power of voice, chat, video, conferencing, and contact center functionalities into the everyday business applications like Google, Microsoft, Salesforce, and more. The goal really is to provide higher productivity and increase customer retention, really with no additional or limited, no additional heavy costs, essentially, for you or for the customers at the end of the day. The value propositions that you'll see here fall into the buckets that we talked about. So CRM-based applications, which represents the biggest market, help desk management applications, productivity type of applications. And then an area that we've already launched, but we've already included with the Extend platform, are constantly evolving, is really the partner billing and service ticketing integrations that we have with Autotask and ConnectWise. So what are the benefits right now from a partner perspective? Being able to sell more while differentiating, your business activities, the ability to be able to create more stickier experiences with customers right now by showcasing Unite and contact center capabilities and tying them into applications. And we've seen this from an organization perspective, is that when communications, if they continue to commoditize, but if I can better integrate my services or communication services into applications that organizations feel to be critical and important, then that just creates a better overall experience for that customer. And so it's an opportunity to continue to differentiate your business. They're easy to set up and install. A lot of these integrations are plug and play. You're able to help your customers be up and running in minutes, literally, and help the overall experience. So from a customer perspective, we looked at this in three critical areas. The ability to increase employee productivity. Embedded communication into everyday applications means that those applications that the organization sees as the most important elements of their business, they can continue to work on it, and we're just adding more productive business workflows to maximize that efficiency. Driving customer retention. So at the end of the day, things like our UCaaS integrations and our contact center integrations are really intended to improve the overall customer journey. So how do I make sales and support services better? How do I interact with my customers more efficiently? How do I gather the right data at the right time? Not only information that's being provided to me, but during the customer as they're actually doing call-ins into the organization itself. Are they accessing the right groups at the right time with the right information? And so that entire automation, we'll get into more details there, but this is kind of the overall structure and the benefits that we've seen from an Extend perspective or overall integrations perspective. So what types of integrations are available? What can you actually do with this? So from a UCaaS perspective or our Unite perspective, everything from click to call capabilities, to logging call details, being able to create tickets in various systems, having the ability to create recordings or call recordings, and then starting meetings as an experience. The screen pop capabilities are really the overall ability for an organization to be able to automatic when a customer phone number shows up, it'll provide relevant data for that customer record. So I'm calling a company and Reza's name shows up, and now I'm automatically showcasing customer information about them so that I can solve relative issues more effectively. So the screen pops, for example, can apply to a multitude of CRM applications that are available. So from a productivity perspective, these are the applications that are available: Office 365, G Suite, Outlook, Microsoft Teams, and Slack. Each one has varying different capabilities. I will mention that things like, for example, viewing presence does not apply to every application here. It's actually very specific to Outlook. However, like I said, it's taking the applications that are there and providing a lot more efficiency associated with that from a communication perspective. From a CRM perspective, we've got Salesforce, we've got our NetSuite applications, we've got Sugar CRM, Zoho, which will be coming soon, Microsoft Dynamics, and we mentioned earlier the CRM screen pops that are also available. Click to call, creating records, call logging, and the screen pop capabilities that are available. Help desk integrations. ServiceNow will be coming soon. ServiceNow, by the way, is probably more enterprise driven. However, we've seen customers from various groups that we've had that have seen value in this, and so it's an upmarket push. Salesforce Lightning that it will be available as well, and then our Sendest integration, which is also available. So advanced ticketing capabilities, screen pops, and click to call. And then we mentioned general screen pops that are available right now. So we've already kind of talked through this in terms of pulling up relevant customer records and information as it relates to an incoming call coming through from a Unite perspective. I just wanted to touch upon the partner integrations. These integrations, as we mentioned before, have been included into Extend, but they are already available to our partners right now. Integrations with Autotask and ConnectWise, to make your business more efficiently by implementing or integrating, customer billing invoices into commonly used infrastructure services, as well as providing service ticketing capabilities in order to more effectively manage your customers. So, not only being more productive into the infrastructure applications that MSPs are typically using today, providing the ability to have better control, but also providing better support services overall for those customers, by essentially combining the efforts into the everyday infrastructure pieces. So these are available today. You can go into your partner portal and find it. But like I said before, we're making constant improvements to these services, better and more capabilities that will be coming in 2020, especially into areas like ConnectWise, that will improve this overall experience. So as we continuously evolve this, we will obviously update accordingly. Look, and I wanted to provide this because I think it's an important element to look at. That Unite right now, as a company right now, we're on the bandwagon right now, and we all know that integrations has been around for some time. The RingCentrals of the world have it, the Vonages, the 8x8s of the world, but we're competing with the best. So we have a lot of these services that are available today right now for our customers. We have the opportunity right now to compete with others. And we have the ability now to showcase, a wide variety of integrations that are available. The one thing that I will point out is that we are investing more and more and more into this right now. So what you see here, hopefully will continuously improve and get better, including, eventually an API strategy that we'll have for resting APIs at a later date that will allow for embedded communications to take another level through integrations of business processes, not just standard applications. But we're going to continuously add and modify. And one of the things I will also point out from our partners is that if you're running into situations where you're looking for different types of integrations, this is the type of feedback that we really want and we really, really need from our partners in order to prioritize activities moving forward of where we need to be investing our time and energy from an integrations perspective. So your feedback to your channel managers of what you need is extremely important so we can help address and make changes to it. So I'm going to pause here for a minute. I'm going to pass this over to Adam. And Adam is one of our bright stars in product marketing. And he's going to walk through a couple of the integrations in terms of these demos are actually going to be videos, but Adam just has this really rock and radio voice that we just have to incorporate here. And he's going to walk us through Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Sendest. So Adam, do you want to take it away and share or Ashley, share your desktop? Yeah.
Sure thing, Reza. I'll just wait till that video is ready to go. Excellent, thank you. All right, so first up, Intermedia Unite for Microsoft Dynamics 365 is a really easy to use integration, and it's going to seamlessly connect your Unite business phone system to Dynamics 365. It's going to make it easier for your teams to place calls and access customer information all from a single application. Cuts down on manually dialing numbers. Now you can click to dial any contact directly within Dynamics. It really, again, cut down on missed dials. When a call comes in, your Unite app identifies the caller and pulls up their existing record in Dynamics. You can take notes in Unite during the active call, and those notes are automatically saved to the contact's Dynamics record. If a record doesn't exist, as in this case, you can create a new contact or a lead with just a click or two. So the Unite integration for Microsoft Dynamics 365 is available for both PC and Mac.
Awesome. So Adam, I'd love to showcase the Sendest one as well. Maybe we can go through a quick walkthrough of that as well.
Yeah, certainly. Great, thank you. So Intermedia Unite integration for Sendest, it's again a very easy to use integration, and this is going to seamlessly connect Unite to Sendest instead, of course, which, like Dynamics, makes it easier for teams to place calls and get that customer information on the fly from a single app, ultimately helping them deliver a better customer experience. And again, you can eliminate manually dialing numbers. Now you can click on any contact or case, and the correct phone number will auto-populate in the Unite for Sendest integration, and you can click to call, which helps cut down on those missed dials. When a call comes in, your Unite app will identify the caller and gives you the option to edit existing tickets or create a new one, as the case may be. You can also create tickets for unknown numbers with just a click. And again, the Intermedia Unite integration for Sendest is available now on both PC and Mac.
Awesome. Adam, thank you so much for that introduction. If there's questions about that, you can put that in the Q&A. We can have a further discussion at the end of the call. And we appreciate the input there. So I want to now start talking about Contact Center a little bit more in terms of our Contact Center packages and our integrations related to this. And I'm bringing up this slide. If others have been on our Contact Center overview pages, you've seen this before. The Contact Center Express package that we have integrates completely with all the Unite applications that we described right now. So within your Unite desktop application, you are able to leverage the integrations accordingly. I want to stress that our Pro and Elite right now, we have a separate set of integrations specifically for Contact Center or more upscale high-end Contact Center services. So the ones I'm going to be going through now are going to be talking specifically about Pro and Elite. We will eventually get to a point where Extend will have a single set of integrations, applies all across all packages, both on the UCaaS side and the CCaaS side. But for now, the integrations that I have right now for Pro and Elite that we're going to go through are specifically for those two packages right now. So when we talk about the contact center packages for Pro and Elite, they really fall into these two buckets. One is ready-made integrations for branded business applications like Salesforce and Slack. And then we have another solution called the CRM Connector. And this has, an event-based framework that integrates with popular business applications. So what the CRM Connector allows you to do is we have the ability to be able to, and we've done a few of these already where we've provided quick turnarounds for integrations with third-party providers. But it also gives the option for certain applications for us to be able to turn around and provide, basic customer journey type of services through the IVR system in order to automate that process through most CRM applications out there today. So we actually can turn things on with an integration pretty quickly at your request. So this is something that we can certainly work through. And again, when you're talking to your channel manager, if there's specific areas that you want to talk through about, hey, we need this for customer X for a contact center, let us know. And we will walk through it and see how we can essentially assist, turn it on for you, and use this as another distinguishing factor for you to go out and sell something. Integrations for CCaaS. So features like click to call, screen pops, call recording details, the ability to create tickets right within the application, and then essentially have that stored within any of these specific services, and then being able to create records, are some of the basic capabilities that are there. For the pre-built integrations, we have Salesforce and Sendest. So specifically with these ones, call logging, screen pops, recording calls, case study lookups, and then the ability to have things like prioritized inquiries. So prioritized inquiries would be, if you have, a contact center a case or a ticket, if someone is essentially going through the IVR system and, they say they have a high priority item that they want to have resolved, they have the ability to navigate through that IVR system. You can have these high priorities cases that are brought up to specific sets of groups that are based on that specific customer journey. So in other words, it's not something that we're driving, it's something that the customer is driving, but ensuring that through the application, you can actually drive them to the right area or right person or right group in order to resolve the issues quicker and more efficiently and according to what that customer needs. So those are things that's what I mean by prioritized inquiries. The connector stuff right now, which is a little bit more basic, you'll see names on the left-hand side here because we've essentially done some of these connectors already for other customers, but have them in such a way that they can easily be turned on. Call logging, screen pops, and call recording are really the three major basic elements that are available here. However, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of CRM applications that we can essentially turn on with CRM Connector. So if there are names, if there are people, if there are specific integrations that you're looking for, let us know, let your channel managers know, and we can have a discussion to see how quickly we can actually support and turn these on in order for you to leverage. So I'm going to pass this off to Owen. His name is not misspelled, by the way. It is actually Owen. We had a whole conversation about half an hour ago this. I was afraid to say his name, but it is actually Owen. So, Owen, why don't you take it away and walk through the contact center integrations for us?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hello. Good afternoon. Good morning, folks. So yes, that is not a typo. So what I'm going to show you guys first and foremost is an example of the Salesforce screen pop using the agent application here you're seeing on screen. By simply making a call into the IVR technology, we'll be able to scrape the caller line ID. And by doing that, we can then populate that record from the agent's perspective. So once I go into the queue from a queue treatment perspective, as you can see on my screen here, a call is being received in my agent application. I'll answer that phone call now and pop myself on mute. But as you can see, we have taken my caller line ID, so that's my cell phone number. I should have already blanked that out. And then we populated that information to the agent. Now this can be done, as Reza had mentioned, with a number of different CRM platforms. Salesforce being the example we use here internally, so it's nice and easy to demonstrate. But you can also see that we have embedded here a click to call contact option as well. That's absolutely available on a number of platforms. Again, it's about the API set available. But how we build these integrations, either with the connector or via the APIs, is using what we refer to as our IVR Studio. This is a back-end tool we manage on your behalf. But as you can see here, those off-the-shelf guys, the Salesforce and the Sendest, the options that are available, searching accounts by phone, populating accounts, contacts, cases, or records. Likewise, the Sendest, searching tickets and users, very easily done by scraping information either from the caller line ID or input via DTMF. Now, with the APIs, there actually is a bit of management that you guys can do on your customers' behalf, or your customers can do on their own behalf, accessible via the admin portal. Very straightforward, very simple. Now, key thing to establish when it comes to the integrations for you guys, what we want to figure out is ultimately what people want to achieve. So Reza had listed some examples, be it a screen pop, making a routing-based decision. We do have the ability to write data. I believe I saw one of the questions that could be embedding a call recording link, or we could simply write activity records or classification information back to the incumbent CRM. But establishing what you want to achieve by said integration is the most important thing, and also establishing, is it a web-based application, and it does have the ability to consume our APIs, which are available on the CCAS platform for the Pro and Elite packages. That's back to you, Reza, I think.
Awesome, perfect. That is great. So we'll just bring back up the slide. Okay. So the other quick thing that we want to talk about is I'm just moving on to the next set of slides. So we talked about the CCAS stuff. So getting started. So look, we wanted to finish off with a couple of items here. So configuration and integrations for your customers. So like I said, private label, advisor, the models are pretty much the same from how to get started with your customers, from the partner portal, logging into the customer account, clicking on voice services, and click on the integrations that really you want to enable for that particular customer account is really how users get started. This obviously depends on if you have accessibility to those accounts. From an advisor perspective, it's pretty much the same thing. Logging into the customer Hostpilot accounts if they provided access to this, clicking on voice services, and getting started. It's really that simple. I mean, there's nothing complicated about this. We try to make this as easy as possible for our partners to be able to discuss and offer this stuff. Now, the other thing that I want to highlight to you, we have developed for the Extend launch over 150 different assets that are at your disposal. So these include things like data sheets. We have specific videos that have been enabled, and one for Extend, one for most of the integrations that are available today that you can leverage and pass on to your customers. We have private label versions of this. We've got co-branded versions of this. We've got intermediate branded versions of all of this stuff. Everything exists with this. And because there was so much here in the partner portal itself, we have a separate tab. And this tab under Partner Portal for Unite is labeled as Integrations, where you will find all the information that you need, all the assets, the email templates, et cetera, that are all sort of visible here. So please log into your Partner Portal. Obviously, if there are questions that come up, you can contact your channel manager and then have any further information from there. Okay, that's pretty much it. So we will go through some questions here, and I see some people have put some questions into the chat box as well. So I will I'll bring up the questions that we have in our regular Q&A box, and then I will try and move some of these questions over there so everybody can see them as well as that's being addressed. So let me share my screen. And we'll start by playing the first question. Okay, so will Salesforce communities be available? Anastasia, I wanted to pass this off to you. Do you have any thoughts on this?
At this point in time, for the CCAS, the integrations reside on just the classic and the Lightning versions. Lightning, we don't have the click to dial, but it depends, I guess, what you want to achieve. Again, that's the biggest question. We can really counter that with what you want to achieve in terms of what communities integration you're looking for.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Are there any costs for these integrations right now? So there are no costs for the actual integrations themselves. And so when we talk about the integrations themselves are available to our partners. Now, what I will tell you is that doesn't necessarily mean that, the requirements are that the minimum requires obviously have a Unite license, and that you have the service that is available through the partner. So NetSuite, for example, you have to have a NetSuite account. We've had situations in the past where people were saying, well, I canceled my NetSuite account because we're hoping you're getting yours. That's not the case here. So we wanted to make sure that it's clear that that in fact requires both sides of it. Other than that, the integrations are essentially available for all of our users, and they're not charged for any additional amount. Is the help desk and screen pop integration coming soon? So Anastasia, I don't know whether you're able to unmute.
Yeah, I can take this one. So yeah, I responded in the chat that if you go to your Unite desktop app, there is a custom integration you can pick, and there is a link that you can copy paste, and it should bring up screen pops with ConnectWise Manage.
Okay.
And I sent the link in the attendee chat, so you can try to go ahead and copy paste it in your Unite Desktop app integrations page and see if it's going to pull up context for you.
Okay, perfect. So here's another question that came up: Can we write our own integrations? Anastasia, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so at this point we didn't open, we have public APIs, but we didn't open it yet for development. However, it will be great to get on a separate call to discuss specific use cases. Potentially we can support some of them, or if not, we will work on them in the future.
Okay, perfect. Scott has asked a question about the integration costs extra. I think, Scott, we've already covered that, so there's no additional cost for these integrations. They are available as part of a value add for our partners and customers. Outlook 365 integration now live. Yes, so we have launched Outlook. I'm not sure if this is Outlook and Office 365, but we have.
Yeah, it should work in Outlook if you have Office 365.
Yes. Okay. Can you expand on the G Suite integration? Anastasia, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so for G Suite integration, we're integrated with Google Calendar. Even if you don't have G Suite, or if you have G Suite from Google Calendar, you can add meetings with one click. So you can basically install our extension, and whenever you're creating a calendar invitation, you can click Add Meeting, and it will pre-populate your meeting URL and dial-in information for everyone, and you can start meetings with one click. And also for G Suite and Google in general, we have a click to call. So if you install our extension, you can click on any phone number on any page, and it will make your Unite Desktop app call that phone number.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm just adding some questions in here from the chat so that everybody else can see it. Okay. So thank you so much for that. Integrations with ECI E-Automate. Dan had this question right now. I don't think we offer this today, but Anastasia, can you touch on this?
We are exploring integration with E-Automate, but we don't have yet specific timeline. It's one in our list, but we do not have any specifics on when it's going to be available.
Okay. So are Unite and CCAS two separate products? So this is a yes and no answer. We talked about this earlier a little bit. The CCaaS portfolio that we have includes the 3 sets of products. So the Unite Express, Unite Pro, and Unite Elite. Express as a service right now, from an integrations perspective, which offers some very basic capabilities for contact center offerings, lines up with the Unite integrations portfolio that we talked about, and the contact center as a service right now. It and the integrations lines up with a Pro and Elite. I will tell you this, that I mean, for all intents and purposes, we are integrating these 2 products together. The Contact Center Pro and Elite can essentially integrate with Unite as a service right now, um, but it can also be offered as a standalone. And so one of the things that we're going to be working on next year in 2020 is ensuring that those integrations, for example, are sort of living and interacting with each other as we continue to evolve the experience. So our eventual goal is to integrate the billing and the user experience of Contact Center Pro and Elite with Unite a little bit more effectively, and then how other shared services will continue to be leveraged. So for all intents and purposes, it's kind of a tricky question, but like I said, a tricky answer. But there are portions of it that are integrated, and we're getting better at it. But from the Contact Center Pro and Elite integrations that we showcased, they are separate from Unite. Well, Sendest integration with the Sendest, can a caller make a ticket from there if they were calling in and got a voicemail rather than leaving a voicemail? Anastasia, I'll leave this one to you. Any thoughts?
Well, so it's not connected. It's not connected to a voicemail right now. So, we didn't. I don't think that we considered that flow, and I would need to test how it actually works with the voicemail. Right now, you are logged in inside Sendest. You receive a call, and you can create a ticket with this phone number. Not sure about the voicemail. I would need to check that.
I can add some. I don't believe it's available today. No, it's only, to Anastasia's point, once the agent receives the interaction whilst logged in, as there's no agent interaction on the voicemail side, I don't believe it's available today, but we'll confirm.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the last question here was, what does the time frame look like for integrations with Zoho?
So Zoho is integration is kind of ready. We are going through the final review process with the Zoho team, and once they approve it on their side, they will publish it. But I hope it's going to happen within the next week or 2 weeks. We're still talking to them, but it's coming very soon.
Right. Okay, perfect. That's awesome. Let me see if there's any other questions that are available here. We have one more. Sorry, just. Oh, no. Don't we have any more? Oh, yes, we do. Okay. So how will this be priced and packaged and priced? So this is going to be an evolving storyboard right now that we're working through right now. So currently, right now, the integrations right now, there will be ones that will be available for Unite, and then Unite Pro. I actually, Jeremy, I'm going to provide this information to you. We're looking to kind of change this. So we'll be looking to introduce new packages in the coming months, and these new packages will have a much more broader variety of services. But right now, and Anastasia, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, we don't have any limitations right now for the integration by any specific package today right now, Pro, Unite basic standard or the Pro, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. The only thing to add is that Salesforce integration right now is priced as $1 per user per month, and that's Salesforce requirement to put a price on. So it's they require us to charge for the integration, So that's the only one that right now has some pricing implications.
Right. Perfect. I don't see any more questions from the pool. So if there are no more questions, let me just see here. I don't think I see anything else. No, doesn't seem to be anything else. Sorry, so there's just one question from Dan on the call integrations to the call recordings attached themselves, tickets, cases, or customers. Not sure if I understand the question, Dan. Call integrations to the call recordings attach themselves to tickets, cases, or customers. Anastasia, so I think what Dan's asking is does once the call is being recorded right now, will it store in the actual ticket itself for a user to be able to pull that up during information or an information sharing session? I believe the answer is yes. Am I correct on that one? Actually, this is more for contact center. So actually, Owen, you may have some more input on it.
For sure. We've done it already a couple of times with Sendest and Salesforce, that we can write the recording link to Salesforce as part of an activity record, or in Sendest in a similar fashion. Again, it's more in a case of writing to the incumbent CRM. Can they consume our REST APIs? If the answer is yes, then the possibilities are endless, but absolutely we can embed a link to the recording for sure. And it's also a link that can be copied directly from the agent application to be pasted anywhere as well in a more manual fashion.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. I think that covers pretty much it. This call will be this webinar will be recorded and will be available. I believe our channel team will be sending the link out to this for you guys to review. Please feel free to visit the partner portal to find all the assets and information that will be at your disposal. You can also contact your channel manager at any time for any bits of information that you need. I myself will be at your disposal as well. If there's any direct questions to me, feel free to reach out to me. We'll do our best to answer what we can to make you guys successful and hit the ground running with these integrations. Thanks again, everyone, for joining this call. Have a wonderful, wonderful break. I don't know if we're going to be meeting anybody anytime before the end of the year. I certainly hope not. Not for me. I mean, I want to make sure you guys are enjoying your holidays. So I'm happy to meet with you guys anytime you're available. But appreciate it. Have wonderful holidays, and we'll hopefully have a wonderful 2020 to work with moving forward. Thanks again.